Hello, my dear Scorpio, and welcome. So I don't always do this, but I found it pertinent to do today, and I've been doing a couple of these if it comes up. So before I even shuffle your cards, or as I was shuffling to get your cards, I found this synchronicity here. So we have awareness, and this person is walking into the midst of this dark night here and going under the full moon in order to have this awareness or this awakening experience. And then we also have here great mystery, which is the original source of the universe, or the void, whatever you want to call it. I love the great mystery archetype there rather than universe, source, God, whatever. Of course, you call it what you will, but you're very clearly having an experience looking into the void or the crack in the universe, because we also have the crow here, which is about law or the law of attraction. And again, that universal source energy, the crows and the ravens both really reflect that energy of the void or that vast experience. And then we have the scribe here, which is a universal source, sort of a spirit guide. We have the water birds here, which are about self-reflection. And we have this light language sort of coming from this character here. And he has the swords. This is from the air sign. And so these ideas, this language, this understanding is really flowing from you. So you are going to become, if you aren't already, a scribe for universal source messages. So if you all haven't yet been called to the Akashic Records, this may definitely be speaking to you. We also have the pole star or the North Star, which is just that reminder to go where you're guided and to follow your own purpose, to follow your own passion. And then we have creation here. Remember, your thoughts shape your future. Your words create today. Your choices become your reality. And we have the hummingbird here, which is about joy. You know, they go around sniffing beautiful flowers. They see nothing but beautiful flowers. They get to move nice and quickly. They don't have a whole lot of predators. So they just get to enjoy this beautiful experience. And the energy here is the thoughts create your future, which again doubles back here to law of attraction. So I thought that was very, very synchronistic, and I wanted to share that with you before we dive into your reading, which I'll go ahead and set up for you now. I'll be right back. Okay, my dear Scorpios, welcome, welcome. Now we'll dive into the actual reading here. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and clear the energy space. We're just going to take a moment here with some white sage, followed by some Palo Santo to just sort of take a few deep breaths here. Release what's going on in your world, what's going on in your life, the last week, several weeks, months, year. We have lots to sort of release there. So just take a few moments, grab yourself your water, your tea, your coffee, and go ahead and get comfortable. And I'd also ask for you to release expectations that you have for the reading. It's okay to set an intention, but just remember that whatever it is that comes forward for you is the message that is perfectly meant for you in this moment. Okay, just taking a moment there to breathe that in. And we'll dive into the positions of your reading. This here is your center, what the energy of the reading is going to be about. We then have your past here, what could be ready to be released or what you've recently gone through. Your cognitive space here, so your mindset. We have messages from the spirit realms. Then we have your forward action or your movement into the future. And we have the Lenormand, which is read like a sentence just from left to right to give us more of a storyline. So beginning here, we have communication. Okay, gorgeous, because I left on the bottom of the deck here this awareness card from the beginning. So many of you are going about this awakening journey to see your higher sources more clearly. Here we have communication. And there's this altar here, a woman with her arms outstretched open wide. And on this altar, she's sort of having this intention fire. And she's saying, okay, animals and spirits of earth, you know, here's what I'm ready for. Here's what I'm doing. Help me to reach this thing, this goal. Okay, and in your past, we have the sharing or the quickening. So another nod here from two different corners of the world. We have Native American here, and then we also have this Celtic theology here. But the energy is actually quite similar. You're doing what you need to do in order to share your ideas, to communicate fully. So this could be with your higher realms. This could also be in your world, with your relationships, etc. And your cognitive energy here is about gaining clarity and illuminating the path ahead. So you're looking into the future quite intensely. You're ready for this clarity to become crystal clear. So another nod here to your higher sources as well, because the eagles are known to fly so high that they disappear. Therefore, they go into that spirit realm and come back with understanding from the higher realms. So again, with the Akashic records, again with visions and journeying. And then here we have the Moon Lodge, and this is the message from your spirit realm. So you're being guided to either participate in some sort of a Moon Lodge, which is traditionally a very feminine practice where women would go when they have their moon times of the month, and they would just heal one another and help each other to take care of things and really just be creative and speak out loud what it is that their intuition is calling for. Back in the ancient times, we were so connected. Gravity was literally less intense. The air was literally more clear. So you're really trying to understand what the easiest way here is to communicate with your higher sources, and your higher sources are here to say, the more that you relax and retreat and give yourself that space, the more it's going to come to you. And into the future here, we have the shaman's death, and this was in the reverse. So many of you may be in resistance to the next stage or the next undertaking of your journey. It feels a little bit heavy or hard to do. It could be in terms of a healing that you're undergoing. It could be in terms of sharing your ideas publicly, coming out with it, talking to people about being out of the spiritual closet, as we like to call it in my spiritual coaching world sometimes. So let's see what the Lenormand has to say. We have the polar bear in the reverse, which is power, greatness, and strength. Then we have the fish, which is finances, so very good, abundant energy. Followed by, of course, the mice come in the reverse to slow things down. That's a slow moving energy, a very frustrating energy as well. The letters also in the reverse, so more of that communication, perhaps being in resistance to the communication. The fox in the reverse as well. So looking backwards with a little bit of nostalgia. And we have the snake, which could be slippery tongues, but also that transformation, letting go and going into the next phase, which I think is very much what you're going through. So the good things, the good thing is we have the fish upright, that's abundance energy. And then the polar bear is a very positive, great protector type spirit here. And you'll notice a lot of the time throughout my readings, I actually put the cards upright. So the fact that many of these are upside down could indicate that I had the deck holding it one type of a way. But we'll go with it. Eventually, I will probably turn them all upside right. But as of right now, let's go ahead and move along. Let's go back to this past area here. What is it that you're ready to see now that has been suppressed up until now? Or what is it that's had this sort of nostalgic energy? And at the bottom of the deck here, we have the number 2, transform the way that you see. We had awareness right out the gate from the very beginning. And now we see that there is a mask on. So very interesting conundrum there. We have all this communication, this clarity here. There's like a want to see things clearly, but perhaps a resistance to one topic or another that you're being called to. Maybe it's looking at something from the past, and it's about letting love grow. Okay, so there's perhaps some worthiness and deserving issues coming up for you. The moment that things start to go good or do well for you, then it's like things kind of plummet. And let's see what's on the bottom here. We have compassion for others in the number 34. We've actually got a lot of 7s on the table right now. This is 3 and 4. We have a 1 and 7 there, 1 and 8. 7 here, 2 and 7, 2 and 5. Okay. I know I get a little obsessive about the numbers sometimes, but sometimes they call to me. So we have this, again, the eyes are very closed, and so there's something that you're not seeing, which I know is really hard to hear, but I do feel that it has to do with what you deserve, and it is love and support from either your higher sources or from the people around you. So if you continuously feel as though the people around you are not giving you that support, that love, that encouragement, then I would personally encourage you to follow through with your higher sources. Yes. So we see here, this is your cognitive ability again. And what you're thinking of is that you want to do this alone, or that you're forced to do this alone. So again, you're being called to really look at that. Why do you feel that you want to do it all on your own? You have this really beautiful intention, this really beautiful wish here in the owl's mouth, and you're looking to blow that wish out and see to it that it reaches the universe and that you are sending up that prayer. The only issue here is your spirit team is trying to keep you sort of grounded, it does seem, and not in a way that keeps you feeling the way that you have been. It's more about growing your roots into this love relationship, the feeling of companionship here on earth. It's not something that lasts forever, and a lot of times when I'm channeling, I get this sort of feeling from the other side that our spirit guides can sometimes be a little bit jealous of us, that we get to feel what it's like to dance. We get to feel what it's like to have our feet on the floor and have things in our hands and have that physical element, which will at some point leave us, and we will leave it, I should say. So there's this need to sort of be where you are and to be okay with where you are. And in so doing, you're going to find that grounded place where you're able to then sort of take off. And at that point, you will be becoming a leader. So let's see what the spirit message is for you from your spirit realms. At first, we have creation. So there's definitely something that you're here to create, which we saw here with the intention, with the owl who has the wish in his mouth in the form of a dandelion. But this one here says, remember your thoughts shape your future, your words create today, your choices become reality. So what does my Scorpio need to know from the universe, from their spirit team, to keep them going here? Kindness. It says live with compassion, which we saw down here as well. Open your heart to all life forms. Be an angel with hands. Wow, I was just talking about how the angels wanted to have hands, and now here they are saying, well, Scorpio, welcome to planet Earth, where you get to touch and feel things. And then it says here, destiny. Acknowledge your mission. Align with your purpose. You have gifts to share with the world. Yes, so this reminds me a lot of that scribe that we saw on the bottom of the deck before we began. Your mission may be to transcribe messages from the spirit realms in the form of light language, energy, shamanic work, perhaps communication work. Again, I'm just feeling Akashic records so much. This language, whatever it is that's coming from this person, I see it a lot in the records. So some of you may be looking for that as sort of a methodology, is that the right word? A method to get to and from the other side very easily. Okay, so let's move into now where you're going to be expressing yourself into the future. What is the expression? Okay, luckily there's only 2 cards that came out all at once. We start here with blessings, and we have this beautiful little yellow bird, which really reminds me a lot of the other cards that you've been getting. You've got the hummingbird, we also have the dolphins, and those are very much about pleasure and enjoyment. And again, just that blessing of being able to be alive, being able to have hands that can grasp things, right? And this receptibility, but also the physical aspects of self that some of us, I think, sometimes feels a little bit like a prison, but our guides want us to delight in that. And so we have openness, the willingness to be ready and able to receive. You know, in most of these, we're sending messages up, we're sending messages out, and we're setting our intentions higher. But you have to be in a state of inner peace in order to receive that messages coming back to you. So this is like that clear night sky, and then this is like the clear water that you're swimming through. So it's very important to clear the energy space around you and do so in a very open-minded and continuous way. A lot of times, you know, if it's cluttery or, you know, we have the dishes going and all these things happening all the time, it can be hard sometimes to see the color in life or to see things a little bit differently, get out of this kind of cloudy, very single-handed type mindset, and then open ourselves up to say, okay, I have this intention, I have this thing that I am manifesting, but how beautiful is it that I get to be alive? Okay. Now what we're going to dive into is what is motivating you. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have the pole star, which tells me that it's very much your intuition that's calling you forward. And look at how similar these are. I will leave them here. I'll pull it out, I mean. But there's somebody walking into the abyss with the moon high, the stars all alight, sacred symbols everywhere. And it's like the pole star, the North Star, is guiding you. So it's about trusting your intuition when it comes to time to make moves and to take action. Let's see what else motivates you with this journey here. The guardian spirit. Okay. This goes hand in hand here with this shaman. So in order to be called a shaman, somebody has to have experienced death. They have to have gone to the other side and then come back. And in ancient times, of course, that was very, very rare. And it could be something that happens now as well. But for many of us, we go through these sort of soul deaths, right? Where we get very sick and tired of seeing things from one lens, or we get sick and tired of having a relationship continue and then fall on its face, and then we leave and then we come back. And it doesn't really matter what the trauma is. We all have something that is transforming the way that we see in either a positive or a negative way. So This makes me very excited because they're both number 15, and that just makes me really happy. Because this energy here is actually the bear, the great bear in this deck, who is the protector of the cave, and the cave is where we go to have this shamanic journey, or to have the awakening experience, or to communicate with our higher sources and to reach them. Or I know lots of auras here, this moon lodge here. So when you're being guided to go into sort of this healing chamber, your guides are here to tell you that you're going to be protected. I know some of these energies look a little dark or a little, topsy-turvy, but they're not. They're actually quite gorgeous. The shaman's death is always there to teach us what it's like to come out the other side and to really reawaken. And then we have the guardian spirit here with this protection that says no matter what, you're going to always be looked after. There will always be somebody in your corner. Okay, so first and foremost, the guardian is there to protect you on this journey. And then we have what is the other motivator as we go into the future potential outcome for Scorpio? The 10 of bows, which is traditionally the 10 of arrows, or I'm sorry, 10 of swords. There we go. No, 10 of wands. Let me get this correct. Okay, I hate it when the tarot cards, they misconstrue what it stands for. So bows are wands, etc. Anyhow, so you're climbing this mountain, you're trying to get up to where this sort of hearth fire is, where the community is, where the love is, and you're trying to sort of prove yourself by carrying all of these things up, and you're very tired, you're weak at the knees, and you're so close, you're almost there, and you feel yourself buckling, which is what I have already felt for you here with the mouse energy. Okay, and at the bottom of the deck here, a 9 of arrows, so this would be the 9 of swords, where this was the 10 of wands. And the guardian, I would say, is very similar to the hermit. Sort of a hermit, but also a strength card there. So the 9 of arrows, or the 9 of swords, I really, really love this card because even though the arrows are going every which way, and it's not as if she's getting anything or that there's even a target at all, and you can't really tell if she's frustrated or she's upset about it, but what you do notice is that there's an arrow going back into the bow and she's going to shoot again, and the message here is dedication. So there's a really gorgeous energy here about how much you're not going to quit, and the universe knows this. And I've got chills all over. It makes me want to cry, actually, because you're following your North Star, and the connection that you have to the divine is so strong, and the places that you've been and the things that you've already accomplished are so strong. You know that your higher sources are there, and they know that you see them. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful relationship that I feel you have with the higher sources, with your intuition. So let's dive deeper. We'll go into the aspects of you that are going to be coming forward for you. And the first, bottom of the deck here, we have the scribe. I'll leave that to continue to be the bottom of the deck. What aspects of Scorpio are coming forward at this time to help them really manifest? Excuse me, we have Destiny here, very similar. Oh, I love this deck. It's so gorgeous. This is the Dreams of Gaia, for anyone who is curious, and everything will be in the description box about the cards that I use as well. So we have, again, this little tomb, which could be a healing chamber. Could also be a communication altar, right? And we have the heart placed right on top of this altar. This beautiful card here, we have the eagle, which is represented 2 times. So more of that clarity, more of that higher sources, more of that communication. We have the snake here. So again, another nod to having something to let go, And you know, we all have something that is ready to be let go of in order to move into our next state of being. And for some of you, you're looking to be a scribe, you're looking to be there to help others, and you know deep within your soul that it's your destiny to do this work. Okay, so very, very similar, very close energies there that just makes me very happy. Okay, and moving into more of that future, moving into your action step, what do we have for Scorpio? Aspects of self, interesting. Yes, so many of you are getting into your own head. This is a little bit of a devil card. It's a 5 of earth, so 5 of pentacles. And traditionally we have sort of a sad person sitting outside of like a church building, and the church inside people are warm and having all this fun, and then outside is like this one cloaked person who's left out in the cold. So this is about, I want to say trust, but it's interesting because it's like this is the gambler. And if you look here, all of the cards are of spades. So it's like, what is this person potentially hiding? Right? And so this could go back here to a past love relationship or a past parental relationship where somebody perhaps did not teach you accurately that you are deserving of love. And so you're over here in this corner here, allowing this person in power to have power over you. And that makes you feel like you need to work harder than you really do. And it makes you feel ready for this shaman death and for this transformation. So I think for many of you, it's a mindset that's going to be released very soon. Because all in all, it's important to come back to this energy here. This is like a king and queen, like royalty type energy. And you're meant for this greatness, and you're meant to be truly and completely awakening your gifts and following this passion, this destiny that you have. You're meant to follow it all the way. You're not meant to get to a certain point and then stop. It's about allowing things to come in. It's also about understanding the laws of the universe. Here we have the crow, which is about that law of attraction. Okay, and a connection to the divine as well. Let's see what animals are coming forward here to aid you. What animals do we have for Scorpio? The armadillo. Boundaries. Very cool. And a solid 10 here with the 2 and the 8. Let's see what's coming through here. Okay, so yes, it seems like whatever has happened seems to be very much in the past. Some of you may be struggling with a relationship of some kind where there's some self-talk. Someone's kind of getting in your head and it doesn't feel good, and it makes you feel like you're going too slow. It makes you feel like you're doing things wrong. So it's time, and it comes right next to this moon lodge, which I think is really gorgeous. It's time for you to sort of close yourself off, not to be this one ring circus all the time, because of course we want to be inclusive, and having that feeling that you need to do it all alone is actually a trauma response. So that's important to note. But this whole journey here that's going on where you put up your boundaries, so I'll share a little tiny tidbit here. A long time ago, about 2014, 2015, I got into a really sticky social situation. And I've always kind of resonated with witches. I've always hung around people who really have that magical awareness, communication, what have you. But I got into it with somebody else, and you know, we weren't getting along, and I felt there was an energy ping coming towards me, kind of like voodoo pin marks, right? And I was just like, something's going on, somebody's trying to get to me. So what I did was I put up a spell of protection, and I just practiced with it. It wasn't something I was super familiar with at the time, but I went into my own room, my own sanctuary, if you will, and I didn't draw a circle or anything. I didn't get really super specific with it. I just consciously surrounded myself in this bubble, and then I extended that bubble out and extended out again and called on my higher sources to really help me to guard my sacred space and to say, allow nobody to get me here, if you will. And right after that, a bunch of people moved states. I had people breaking up with people who were in my vicinity that were creating the problem. So it happened, it helped almost instantaneously. And it really helped me on my journey of understanding my next steps in my spiritual offerings, how I'm going to offer services. So sometimes it only just takes this little intention to put up a boundary and say, this is where my boundaries are, and this is what you're not going to be able to do. You know, we have this free will, and it's very important actually to utilize free will and say, here's what I do acknowledge, and here's what I don't accept, right? So utilize that to your awareness, because another 7 here. This is such a beautiful energy. This is the Black Panther, and he's all about the unknown. So another crack into the universe, another viewpoint into the void, into this higher knowledge, this space-time continuum, you know, the space between particles, the Akashic records, Akashic realm, where you're able to really and truly see things for what they are. You're really able to sit down and have conversations with your guides. It's not just, oh, I see a flower, or, oh, Mindy just said, you know, that the angels get jealous that we can physically touch things and we can feel the ground beneath our feet, and then pulls a card and says, be an angel with hands, right? It's like, yes, synchronicities are gorgeous and they're so beautiful. And the truth about it is, in some cases, it's only scratching the surface, right? So coming back again to this inner peace, I have an inner peace card that's also in this deck here, and it is most definitely the card that got thrown against the wall the most, because the meaning of it is you must find inner peace before you can move forward. So I hated that because I continuously pulled that card, and it was the card number 1, and it said you're not going to move forward until the inner peace is taken care of. So that may be for some of you. So here we have how you're going to best connect to your higher sources. What can you do to connect to your higher realms? And it says make a choice. Again, free will, deciding, just saying, here's what's meant for me. And there's your intention there in your hands, which can look like so many different things. These are just random totems, the egg or the crystal ball. But all in all, it is your destiny, this thought process, this intention, whatever it is that you're creating, it's a part of you. And you have every right to make it so. So it's very important that you are finding your inner peace, and you're not letting anybody to come in and disturb that peace, whether it's from the past, whether it's from the now, whether it's coming from yourself, whatever that unkindness, wherever that's coming through and disturbing your inner peace, it's time for you to turn around and be like, I don't think so. There's a positivity to every card. And yes, this is about transformation, but it can also be this really slick, like, another 7, by the way, 2, 5, and then we had a 5, 2, and now here's a 7. So these all go hand in hand. This is about jurisdiction. This is about dedication. This is about finding that peace in your soul that says enough is enough. No more will I allow for this, that, or the other thing to slow me down, to keep me stuck, to disturb my peace, to make me feel alone. And instead we turn to enchantment. And this is a very magical card. We have like a mermaid tail here, and she's in water. She has this long hair. We have a boat off to the side here. And at the bottom of the deck here, we had another boat. So it's like this ship coming in to take you on this journey, to help you along your way. It's just a matter of tapping into that enchantment, the miracles, the unknown, the great mystery, the void, what have you. It's a very exciting energy, and it helps you to really go upon your path. It's important, yes, that it's the path of least resistance, but it's even more so important that you're believing in your path no matter what, and that you won't let anyone else get in your way. And this is just a really, really beautiful conundrum here, if you will, synchronicity. Your path is laid out for you. You know what your path is. You know that this is your destiny. Somehow, some way, something is getting to you, and it's causing you to see through a mask, and it's time to just set that mask down. And how to do that is to go into the healing ceremonies, to go into the Akashic realm, to go into meditation, to go to perhaps even past lives. Maybe there's this past life thing that's coming through here. Something is disturbing your inner peace, and it's time for you to fully awaken yourself, really. There's a need for protection. And just minor, I mean, it's just boundaries, you know, it doesn't have to be anything too scary, like saying there's evil around you or anything like that. I don't feel that per se. It's just something very subtle, because you guys are there. You are very close. You're close to this unleashing and this awakening, this emerging that's going on with you. You're so very close. There's just that little need to dive a little deeper, to go into that self-reflection, to go into the past life work, that really, really deep stuff, and really awaken whatever it is that has been causing you this duress. It's very minor, but even those minor tendencies can keep us very slow moving and keep us looking back on how far we've come, but not in a positive way, and just be like, oh, I'm moving so slow, I've only come this far, instead of saying I've come this far. That's great, that's wonderful, let me take a break, let me get into joy, let me get into creation mode, let me get into this hummingbird, this delight, right, of these blessings that come forward, where I can really and truly unleash this deserving. I deserve to have a good time. I deserve to fully embody what it means to have a freedom-based lifestyle. For some of you, if that's where you're headed, it feels very much like many of you have this really big goal, really big dream. So let me know in the comments if that is you, because I am also a spiritual online coach. I won't spam you or anything. You can reach out to me if you'd like. But I'll put everything in the description box that you need for the Akashic Records certification, for one-on-one readings, Akashic Records sessions. I'm also doing human design readings too, if that's something that you all are called to. But I really feel like many of you just really need to give yourself a break. Specifically, your left brain needs a break, because the universe is seeing your creative spirit. They're seeing how this destiny is really, really calling you. They just don't want you to have to feel alone. They want you to come and communicate with them, come and feast with them. I've been hearing that a little bit in some Native American theologies that I've been following, present day. Some of these are very ancient, but in the present, there's somebody that I follow who, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his tribe, but he's up in the Great Lakes area. And he feasts with his higher sources, or with his spirit guides, or with the thunder beings, if you will. So inviting that energy forward, saying, come sit with me, come be with me, talk to your higher sources as if they're sitting across from you in a chair. Whatever it is that you need to do, it might feel silly at first, but overall you're really bringing awareness to yourself. you're communicating with your higher sources, but you're communicating also with your subconscious. And there's something in the subconscious that's sort of keeping you stuck, keeping you feel like you need to earn that plateau, or you need to climb until you fall down, and that's not what we're meant to do as humans. So come back to what you know, which quite frankly is the unknown, which is quite beautiful. You know law of attraction. You know how to follow your destiny. You know how to go out into the night and really feel that connection with the divine. You know what it's like to let go of things in order to bring more forward. You're understanding the energy work. You're just now looking to dive a little bit deeper. So let me know if you all are called to a one-on-one session. We can really look into what's going on specifically for you, or a personal reading to do the same. So I hope this reading has resonated. Please do check out the description box. Leave me a comment if this has resonated. Of course, I appreciate your likes and subscribes, as I am a new channel. It really helps us out as YouTubers. So I will see you all next month or in my inbox. Have a wonderful time, and I will see you then.